And I'm going to pass it off to Francis, and you'll actually see me. You'll see me, but you won't hear from me till the end of the night, which I'm pretty excited about. So thank you so much, and Francis.
So this is. So this is version about 68 of us trying to figure out the sound system so we can broadcast online and here. We think we've got it, but bear with us tonight as we go. So my name is Francis, and I am a trusted senior travel advisor with Stewart Travel Group. And Travis is right, this was my idea, but it came at a conference with these yahoos back here. And Philip, who's over there in the red, said something while we were at conference. I don't even remember what he said on stage, but when he was presenting, it was a moment of sort of light that said, we need to do this. And so I'm going to play, first I'm going to introduce our team, and then I'm going to play a little video. So this is our team. You know the folks at the top in color there. That's Travis and Paula, the co-owners of Stewart Travel Group. And we're really excited. This is our team. We are located in PEI, but we are also have travel advisors in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And so tonight with us, we have Cheryl, who's our business manager right at the back, Stephen Young, who's sitting at the table, our partner Calvin Jones, who's co-host with me, he's right back there, you met him as you came in, and the one and the only, Travis. We all know who he is. So I'm going to try and get this video to play. This is the first test of our new system, and we'll see what you think. Oh, hang on. So what do you think? So we're pretty excited by the Curated Collection. And so this is a collection of trips and of suppliers that we will work with over the coming years, we hope, that are going to provide you a really unique experience. So the tours that we put into the Curated Collection are all going to be handpicked by us, whether that's because we've been there, because we know people who have been there, but it's going to be a unique take and a really hand-picked selection of itineraries. On every one of our experiences, there will be at least one local food and wine experience, likely more. So you'll have an opportunity to try wines and try food in the destination, whether that's a cooking class or a wine tasting, or you go out to visit a farm, you go fishing. There's all sorts of things that you might end up doing. They're all small group and private, or could be private experiences. So if you have a group of friends that wants to do one of these experiences, that's something we can do. But generally, they'll be under 20, 24 people on these experiences. The accommodations are going to be elevated where available. Now, some of the places that we're going to go to, there just aren't elevated experiences, and that's part of the experience. But where we can, we will be offering 4- and 5-star accommodations on these tours. They are adults only. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. That's generally the focus for Stewart Travel Group hosted tours, but I think it's important to say. And I think the most important thing that you're going to see on these tours is that you get to connect with the people who live in these destinations. Throughout tonight, you're going to see some of these things called QR codes. And if you just point your camera at that on your phone, a little yellow button will come up, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the website that we're talking about. So if ever you see one of those tonight, you can always get to the website that we're talking about. So that's what the Curated Collection is. And tonight we are really thrilled to have Geadventures, Exodus Travels, Hurtigruten Expeditions, AmaWaterways, you didn't leave me, and Tourcan Vacations. And these are some of my personal favorite tour operators and partners that we work with because of the uniqueness of the experiences they offer, and also because of either the environmental focus, the social responsibility focus, or the responsible tourism focus that they provide. You'll hear a little bit more about that. All right, so now I would like to introduce Hillary. So, all right, so I'm going to give it to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm assuming we can hear me, yes? Perfect. My name is Hillary and I'm here representing Geadventures. So my first question is, has anyone here been on a Geadventures tour? Not yet. Not yet is the answer. Travis has been, there we go. Has anyone not heard of Geadventures? Okay, a few people, a lot of people still know us, good. So essentially we are a small group tour operator. We operate in over 100 countries on all 7 continents, and we are based in Toronto. So we are also a Canadian company, which is fantastic. And for our tours, for the most part, it's maximum 16 people. There are some exceptions there that are going to be less than that, and I think one of them is in my presentation, so I'll be able to talk about that soon. But as Francis said, we are looking at the Curated Collection. So I am here to present our National Geographic Journeys and National Geographic Family Journeys. I'm assuming everyone's heard of National Geographic before? There we go, yes. So essentially it is a collaboration between Geadventures and National Geographic. We're not just stealing their name, they're in it with us, I promise. So it is travel enhanced. So when you look at National Geographic compared to our other tours, it is slightly more upgraded. So we're looking at more upgraded accommodation, more activities included, more meals included. The guide is still going to be a local guide, so they'll speak the local language as well as English, of course, to be able to lead the tour. But they will also have specific National Geographic training. So that's kind of a nice one there. And then some of the inclusions in those activities are actually going to be some specialists in destination to talk to you further about whatever's pertaining to the destination. So it kind of has that National Geographic educational twist to it. So why travel with journeys? I mean, it's easy to say why not travel with journeys, but for lots of reasons. So for Geadventures, we're all about giving back to local communities when we travel, making sure we're using local services. So it is the local people and places that we're visiting that are benefiting from our tourism. So not only do you support that, but you also support National Geographic's researches. So whether it's for species protection, ecosystem protection, you are kind of going into that when you travel on a National Geographic Journeys with Geadventures. So what sets journeys apart? I kind of already spoke about that a little bit, but it is very culturally immersive experiences. We of course will go to kind of the big cities in a destination, but we will also get off the beaten path, go into the little villages, meet local people. So it's not just seeing tourists every day, you really are immersing yourself. There's some options that have homestays included, so you really get to kind of see what living like a local is for a night or two on the itinerary. Of course, because it has that National Geographic to it, you do get pre-trip articles from National Geographic that will be sent to you, and then the accommodations are a little bit cozier, and the CEO, which is our guides, not the owner of the company, does have that specific National Geographic training. I guess I jumped ahead on my presentation when I was talking. It's okay, you guys can hear things twice, so it'll stick for. So who is the average traveler? Curious, educated traveler. Of course, if you are going on a National Geographic journey, you're not just there to fart around, right? You're there to learn something. You're there to really get into the culture. You're seeking a genuine connection with the people, the places that you're visiting, and even the other people that are on the tour as well, which is fantastic. Looking for freedom to roam, so although the itinerary is made, we also do have a lot of optional activities, free time included on our itineraries, so you can kind of make it what you want. If you want to jam pack it with activities, go for it. And if you just want to relax a little bit more, you can do that too. So lots of options there. Attract solo travelers. So 60% of our travelers are actually solo travelers, which is fantastic. We do not penalize anyone for being a solo traveler. So if you do want to go, we will automatically pair you up with another solo traveler of the same gender. But if you specifically want your own room, then you can do that too. So you do have those two options. It does skew a little bit more on the female side because, of course, as solo travelers, people want to go in a group, especially as females, just for a little bit more safety. And then, of course, it does have that familiar National Geographic brand to it. You're going to hear me say National Geographic a lot tonight. So what are upgraded accommodations? I will show you. So these are 3 different options that we have here. The first one is in Wadi Rum in Jordan. I was actually there last year and it was absolutely phenomenal. The people there are amazing. They made us a delicious dinner that they cooked underground, which was fantastic to see. The next picture in the middle here, we have Victoria Falls. So very gorgeous there. A lot of the accommodations in Southern Africa are permanent tented camps. So it's like elevated glamping. Very stunning. And then this last one over here is in Hurtigruten, Costa Rica. I know someone was asking me about Costa Rica. Here's your other sign to book it. I see you.
Okay. Do that.
I always smile whenever I watch the videos because I think I've done about 20 or so G Adventures tours so far, and I just like kind of see tidbits of things that I've already done, and it just makes me smile, brings back amazing memories with just the people that I was there with and the beautiful destinations. I don't know if you guys noticed one of the first clips was these tall palm trees. I was actually just there in June. It was the Kokora Valley in Colombia. Very, very special place. We have a National Geographic that goes there too. All right, so for this, I am jumping into the continents. I am going to feature one tour per continent to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. I'm not going to go too in-depth into that information. You have your lovely Stewart Travel Advisors who are going to be able to answer any questions if you do have any. And of course, we have a lot more product than what I'm about to show you. So I'm kind of just doing a quick overview so you can see what we have to offer. So first off, we're starting with iconic Japan in Asia. I was also just in Asia in May in Japan, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I missed cherry blossoms, but hey, take it from me, go a month earlier, go in April, and you can see those. So this one is 12 days, and you'll be able to see that you take speed trains, and you get to stay in a traditional ryokan as well, and you get to see monks and torii gates, and eat a lot of sushi, a lot of rice, and lots of walking. Get ready for that. My clicker's jumping, but next we're looking at Africa. This is legendary wildlife of Rwanda and Kenya. I chose this one because I did do the gorilla trekking quite a few years ago, and it was absolutely stunning. Once you do get to the gorillas, it can be between a 45-minute hike and a 2 to 3 hour hike to find them, depending on where they are in the forest well, in the jungle, not the forest, in the jungle, of course, because they are in their own natural habitat. They move around, we go to them. There are trackers in the area, so we know where we are going. My trek was about 45 minutes, and I'm not kidding, from me to the front row, I had a giant silverback just walk right in front of me. Absolutely stunning. They're not threatened by us, but just in case there are armed guards, of course. So this one was fantastic, and you also get to go over to Nairobi and go to Masai Mara to see a lot more wildlife. And then North Africa and the Middle East. There we go. Of course, they chose Jordan. That one's easy to say. So either floating in the Dead Sea was really something phenomenal. It's like you try to stand up, you try to swim, but it kind of just flips you over. And I don't know, I felt like a beached whale while I was in the water. It was a funny feeling. And then, of course, going to Wadi Rum in the desert. And the main thing to see here, does everyone know what it is? Petra. Yeah, the lot. Petra, absolutely stunning, lots of hiking to do there if you are active. If you're not as active, you can take it very leisurely. You'll still be able to see the treasury, but I do suggest doing some of the hiking if you can. Europe, we have Greece. This is probably one of our most popular tours in Europe, is the National Geographic Greece tour. I like to say it's the best of both worlds because it's half land, half water. So you do get to take speedboats in between the islands, you get to visit the islands, but at the same time you get to see the beautiful history that the mainland has to offer as well. This one is 12 days. Central America, I'm hoping it's Costa Rica. It is. So we have Explore Costa Rica. This one's 14 days. We actually do have a shorter one that's 9 days in case you don't want to be gone for so long. I love this one because it does go to both coasts. So it goes up to Tortuguero, it also goes down to Manuel Antonio, and of course you can't miss the cloud forest in Monteverde in the middle. Alaska journey, oh my gosh, I think I chose places that I've just only been. So Alaska, I actually did this last year, and it's probably one of my favorite places I've been. If you haven't yet, I highly suggest it. What I like about our itinerary is it's inland, right? So you're not just going to port towns, you are really going into Alaska, into the wilderness, into the wilds. Don't worry, we don't find buses, guys. So this one was fantastic. I saw grizzlies, I saw moose, I saw caribou, lots of bald eagles, lots of seals or sea lions. The big ones, the seals, eating salmon in the water, like it was crazy, but so good. Australia, New Zealand, this one is, I haven't done both of them yet, finally one I didn't, I chose that's different. I did do Australia, but not New Zealand. This one's great because it actually covers both of them. And what I really like is it goes to Uluru in Central Australia. And does anyone know who Uluru is, or what Uluru is? Perfect, I see lots of head nods, yeah. So it is a very special place for Indigenous, and it literally is a giant rock in the middle of the desert over there. And then of course you can go hiking on Franz Joseph Glacier in New Zealand if you want as well. South America, Peru. If you know G Adventures, Peru, we are the #1 tour operator in Peru, especially on the Inca Trail. So we do have a lot of different Inca Trail options. If you don't want to do the Inca Trail, we also have the train to Machu Picchu, so no worries, you can still go ahead and see the lovely site without having to do a 4-day hike without a shower. So Peru, I've actually done it twice, and I would do it again and again, especially with G, because you see the big impact that we have over there, especially being the #1 tour operator in the region. We also have a not-for-profit organization called Planetara. And for Planetara, it is creating projects all around the world to help women, Indigenous, youth, locals conserve their culture. So we have a great one in Peru called the Women's Weaving Co-op. If you've not heard of it, again, ask your Stewart Travel advisors, and they'll definitely be able to tell you, because it is a phenomenal experience. Whenever I go there with people, everyone always leaves crying because of the big impact you see that we have on those local women who are making the weaving projects, and you can also buy things from them. We're the #1. Video? National Geographic Family Journeys. This one I'm going to go through a little bit quicker, but it's just to kind of give you an idea that we do have the 2 lines. This one is more focused on families, as it said.
You are my favorite place to go. You're at the end of my favorite road. Above the rest, you're the best I know. You are my favorite shade of rose. A flower bed on my favorite stone. I love the ground where your roots have grown. You're my favorite place.
So that kind of just shows you quickly our National Geographic family journeys. So it is really created for families to do the activities together. It's not a babysitting service by any means. It's not leave the kids and the adults go off drinking. It's really activities that are made for the families to do together. Again, really connecting with each other, with the places that you're visiting, and of course, other families that might be on the tour as well. So for this one, as there are children, it's not adults only, but the kids have to be between the ages of 7 and 17, so it's not like an adult or a solo adult can book on a family tour. In my opinion, it'd be kind of weird if you want to travel with a bunch of kids, so I think we all understand that. So again, really to have the kids learn a lot while they're traveling, broaden their minds, their experiences, having great memories as a family. What we see is a lot of private groups for our National Geographic family journeys, and it's actually multi-generational travel. So it's grandparents taking their kids and grandkids. And especially since COVID happened, we've seen a huge incline in that, is families wanting to travel together and have it kind of just their little bubble, right? And for a private group, again, you can speak to Stewart Travel Advisor, is minimum 8 people. So it's really not that much to have a private group. So that's definitely an option for you if you are a family of 8 or more. And again, these are just everlasting memories, not just for the kids, for you too. Even if you do a regular journey and not a family journey, you'll still have an amazing cultural experience. Well, that's everything for me today, and I don't think we have time for questions right now, but if you have questions, come find me.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So what do you think? There's some amazing stuff with G-Adventures, and the exciting, what I'm really excited about is that we will be going, there's a number of us in the room that are going to Jordan next year with G as part of our national conference. So it's the 10-year anniversary of the Travel Agent Next Door, who is our host organization, and they're taking us all on the G-Adventures Jordan tour. So that's really exciting. Next, I'd like to introduce Wendy Mills, all the way from Fredericton.
It's an exotic location.
And I met Wendy not that long ago, and this is a new supplier for me. And they focus on cycling and walking tours and all sorts of really interesting things. So, just push the orange button.
All right, now we're cooking. Welcome everybody. Like Francis mentioned, I am from Fredericton, originally from Newfoundland though, so if there's any other Islanders in the house, or Newfoundlanders everybody. I'm here representing Exodus, and we really have a great product. I'm focusing tonight on our Premier Adventures, and we focus on the active side of traveling. So we're going to get you out hiking, walking, and cycling with all of our trips as well. So we do focus a lot on walking and wine. So, I don't know if that's something that a lot of people like. So we have over 10 trips to take you on walking on wine trips, cycling with wine. But we take care of you, don't worry, don't worry. But we're going to start with a quick little video, just to kind of give you an idea of some of our trips and what you can expect. There we go. So that gives you a quick little snippet of our premium adventures. So right now we have over 32 different premium adventures. And what they are basically going to be adventures that are going to take you elevated. It's going to give you more 4.5-star accommodation, 5-star accommodation, unique stays. We try to have at least one unique stay when you travel with us. Could be a tree house in Costa Rica. Could be these glamping in the Wadi Rum Desert, of course, as well. So really great options for you. What kind of sets it apart from our regular trips that we do offer is that we do have our expert local guides from the area as well that we are traveling in. Award-winning operator. We actually started our company, it's going to be 50 years next year in London in the United Kingdom. So we've been around for a very long time. So our guides that have been working with us have been with us pretty much for the whole time, 20, 30, and some as close as 40 years as well. Hand-picked accommodations, like I said, you're going to be staying at these really unique kind of stays when you're traveling. We try to get you off the beaten path as well, but we always try to stay at accommodations that are not going to be chain hotels. A lot of times there are farmhouses that are now being converted to these beautiful boutique hotels, or olive farms, or we even have an old prison in Portugal that is now converted to this beautiful hotel that we stay at. Really neat. Still has the bars on the window and everything, but it's absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. We also are great and very passionate about giving back to the communities we're traveling in. So we do have launched our People, Places, and Planet Plan. And this is something I love. Something as simple as making sure everybody on the ground is paid fairly, equally. And we always want to improve life through travel, not just the traveler, but actually anybody that's on the ground, be it the tour driver, from your tour leader. An example would be right now we're funding and helping 3 organizations on the ground in Morocco in the Atlas Mountains. We've also funded a scholarship for women in the Kilimanjaro area to train to be porters and leaders. We've had 15 women that have graduated this program last year. We've got another 15 ready to go at the end of this year. And they will lead these programs. It'll be an all-women-led trip to the Kilimanjaro area. So things like that, we do give back to the communities that we are traveling in as well. So a little bit about who's traveling with us. We are a small group, like Francis said, so our groups are only going to be a maximum of 16 people. Very small, very quaint. Very small, we have 50% of our travelers do go solo. And again, like very similar to Hillary mentioned, we do pair you up as well. If you don't want to pay a single supplement, we can share the room. There's no single supplement, but our single supplement can be added and it's very reasonable for you as well. So it's a great option for somebody that does travel solo. And I gotta tell you, when I went to Croatia on our trip, we had 4 ladies that were solo. And when we first got there, nobody said a word to anybody. It was all really quiet, really quiet. By the time we finished, those 4 ladies were getting together and planning their next trip next year together. All strangers, but by the time we were done, they were best friends. So that's what I like when I see these solo travels, are inclusions, you're brought in with the group as well, which I really do like. But I wanted to say our average age is about 55 to 60, and even up to 70s. I've seen it. I was in Iceland and there was a lady, she was in her 70s, and my God, I couldn't keep up with her. Like sometimes you gotta, it's the 70-year-olds you gotta worry about, not the 20-year-olds that you gotta keep up, which I really do like. I love seeing that for sure. Great guides as well. We've got our great guides on the ground, and I want to introduce you to one that I just had in Greece. His name is Thanos. Such exciting, great guy. So I have a little snippet of a video to show you. You're going to meet Thanos from Greece. And I had a great choice. And I had the chance to meet Thanos. He was eating octopus there in that video. I don't know if you noticed or not. He really tries to get you. Every time we went out, he had a plate of octopus out for everybody to try. Let me tell you that. Something I do not like. I know that. But I tried it. So here we were. We were in Greece. We went to Faroe, Santorini, Naxos with Thanos. It was really a great opportunity to see and to do and see that area. Really get off the beaten path. Like a lot of times, I have done Greece through cruising and I've never really seen the community. So we went into Santorini for a couple of hours and we get back on the boat. And when we went to Santorini, we spent 2 full days there. We hiked. We went to the other side of the island. We got to see the red beach, the black beach, and really got to see the real islands as opposed to just spending 6 hours and then getting back on your boat and jumping on again. So really great options. Epic stays, like I said, I've got a little snippet of some of the pictures here that we do stay in, but the coolest one is over in Turkey, in Cappadocia. We actually have a hotel in the top right here that's actually caved into a mountainside. So the hotel is actually caved right into the mountainside, so it's a really unique, really great epic stay for sure. Where we are an active travel company, we do require some level of fitness while you're traveling and walking. All of our trips are leveled from a level 1 to a level 7. So a level 1, people say to me, what is that? What am I walking every day? So a level 1, I always explain, it's very similar to like if you were to go to Egypt, for example. We've probably already seen Egypt, think of Egypt, look of Egypt. You're going to be out walking through the ruins. You're going to get, 20, 30,000 steps racked up, but there's really no elevation. So you're just going to be out walking and looking around. So that would be a level 1. Then we go up to, say, a level 3. So a level 3 would then bring you to a little bit more of an incline. Think like the Amalfi Coast, where it's built on the side of a mountain. You've got steps, a little bit more elevation. Here you're maybe going to need some good footwear, maybe some good hiking poles to kind of help you come down the elevation. And then we have trips that bring you all the way up to a level 5, where we're talking about Kilimanjaro, Everest Base Camp, and then way up to a 7 where you're scaling ice walls and everything. I don't know who wants to do that on vacation. So we're going to jump into a few trips that I've highlighted here for you for our premium collection. And I want to start with this one. This is a brand new one that we just launched. And it's Rome, Assisi, and the Umbria region of Italy. So Rome, of course, we all know Rome. We get you in, you go see around the Colosseum, you go see the Trevi Fountain, and then we're going to get you out to the green heart of Italy in the Umbria region. And this actually is one of the new up-and-coming areas in Italy. It's located just north of Rome, south of the Tuscany region. It's landlocked. And it's very famous for, I don't know if you guys think at Christmas time, you have these beautiful little chocolates called Baci, B-A-C-I, blue with the little notes inside. I know I always used to get them at Costco. So that is where they're created. We actually go out and we visit the area there, and we visit the chocolate factory, lots of wine, of course, and it's famous as well for craft beer, if you do craft beer. Very, very famous as well. So the Umbria, and of course Assisi, St. Francis of Assisi was born there, and that's his hometown. So wonderful, wonderful area. And like I said, it's a new and upcoming area, this Umbria. You're going to see a lot more people going there and wanting to do it. And it's great if you've already done Tuscany, if you've already done Rome, if you've already done Venice. This is another great option, of course, for you to see that. Beautiful accommodation. There's a beautiful spa on site and restaurant as well. Now, we also do cycling trips. So what I have here for you is our Champagne and Burgundy. Like I told you, we do a lot of wine trips. So we're in the region of Champagne and Burgundy in France, and with our cycling trips, we can also do e-bike upgrades. So if you're a cyclist and you go out and you want to do a beautiful trip, we can do the e-bike upgrade for you. We also have vehicle support that follows. So if you get a flat tire, pop a chain, just want to take a break for the day, you certainly could do that. So that's an option for our cycling trips as well. So this one takes you all through the beautiful vineyards of France. We start up in Reims, and then we do some cycling in the area. We drive you down to the Dijon, and then we do some more cycling, of course, from there as well. Beautiful, beautiful area. Lots of chateau visiting on this one as well, and wine tasting, of course. And we do include some breaks as well. As you can see, this is 6 nights and 4-star beautiful hotels, but you want to do 4 days cycling. So you're going to have a lot of free days as well while you're doing your cycling. So great for somebody in that area. Beautiful accommodations in that area as well. Now we're going to another area of Italy, probably my favorite area. And not a lot of people know this area. This is Puglia. When we look at the map of Italy, this is in the heel of Italy. So it's over by, across from where you would see Croatia, across the Gulf. And what I like about this is it really has a different feel than the rest of Italy. When you go to the Amalfi Coast, and Tuscany is so lush and green and vineyards, this area, as you can see in the picture, it's very more dry, more like a Greece kind of feel in this area for sure. So here we are. We are in the heel of Italy. Beautiful area, one of my favorite areas. And of course, it's known for these white Trulli homes in Abruzzo. And we actually do stay in these for a couple of nights and in this area with our trip. And we also do stay in another cave hotel in this area as well. They do the same thing as Turkey does as well. And very, very gentle walks. You do 6 days gentle walks with this one, of course. But when we do our gentle walks, normally what we do is we get up in the morning, you do your walking, your sightseeing, usually back around mid-afternoon. Some people will take a nap, some people will go to the pool, some people go shopping, and then we all get together then for dinner later that evening. So great option for people. And then this is a little snippet of the Trulli homes. And you do stay in these, and each one is different as well for when you stay in these. So even if you're traveling with a group, your room may look a little different than your neighbors for sure. And then our #1 seller, of course, is the Amalfi Coast. So we have our trails and treasures of the Amalfi Coast. And I'm going to show you a quick little video for the Amalfi. I'm going to whip you away. But the nice thing about our video, I wanted to tell you the hotel we use in the Amalfi Coast for this trip, we've been using for over 20 years. And family run, and at the end of the video, you're going to see the grandmother, the Nona, and she's a feisty one, let me tell you. There she is. When we first started using this hotel, she and her husband were actually running the hotel, and now her son's running. She always comes out and checks, like everything's going good, but she's sweet. Yeah, so I know Francis mentioned with the Curated, we want to focus on food. This is our food trip for sure. You saw in the video there was pizza flipping, so what they do is they actually take the group into the kitchen and you learn how to make your own pizzas in the fire and you spin it in the air and all that fun stuff for sure. This one as well, I mean, we take you all over the Amalfi Coast. Some highlights, of course, we do spend some time in Naples. You go to Pompeii, on Vesuvius, like you saw in the video as well. And we take you to the end of Capri. So some really great ones, but I think the coolest thing that I really like is we take you to kind of a fishing village in the area of Cetera. And it's kind of one of the last kind of fishing villages, because this area now is kind of a lot of tourists, you know, run to hotels. In Cetera, it actually does still have a working fishing village that we go to. So I really like that aspect for sure. That you can see the locals working and actually they still do it for a living. Beautiful accommodation in this one. I have a couple of snippets of our accommodation in this one because I just love the beach and the water and the blue turquoise view. Now moving over to Spain, we have Andalusia highlights, and this is a great option for the southern region of Spain in Malaga. And then we take you into Ronda. You learn some flamenco dancing on this one as well. And I do love this beautiful trip in the southern region of Spain, but beautiful Seville as well. We take you to the town of Seville, the town of Ronda, and like I said, you do your flamenco dancing, and you do a little bit of a hiking as well. There's a small little circle hike there called the El Camino Rey, and we do that for a day as well. But I think the highlight on this trip is this hotel. This hotel has a rooftop pool, but look at this. This is a bull ring. This is a bull ring, so you actually can go up, have a glass of wine, relax, and there's a bull ring right below you. I think that's the coolest feature for this Spain trip as well. And of course, we do Jordan as well. One of our Kingdoms of Jordan trip as well. We do 2 days in Petra. This one, we get up actually, with this trip, we actually get you up quite early one morning. You'll love us though, we get you up early. But what we do then is we go in the back way into the treasury to get ahead of the crowd. So we take you in before the actual crowds come in to the Petra region, and you get to spend a little bit of time there by yourself and really kind of see the sunrise. We also do a little trip, a little walk, a little hike to just around the corner of the treasury as well, and that gives you the best views, of course, of the beautiful Petra as well. Take you to the Dead Sea. You get to float in the Dead Sea, of course. Mud on you, the therapeutic mud, of course, in that area for you as well. Lots of food and beautiful accommodation in this one. We stay at this beautiful ensuite kind of glamping in the Wadi Rum. And here's a quick little snippet here, all ensuites. And it really does give you a feel that you're in the middle of nowhere. You're driving, you come around this turn, and this is beautiful. It's almost like a mirage, you know. They're waiting for you with, you know, a hot drink, and everybody gets together in the evening and has the dinner and the shows, right? So it's a beautiful, real feel for Jordan as well. And lastly, I just put in a new trip with us, and it's a place that not a lot of people, you know, I know from East Coast really don't really think about Sri Lanka. Really is a beautiful, beautiful area. This is a country that really takes in, you have the beaches, you have the national parks where you get a chance to see elephants and leopards, beautiful, lots of culture, and you know, it's one of those places that a lot of people don't kind of really think about. They all say, you know, go to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand and stuff, but Sri Lanka is there. It's a beautiful treasure for sure. You get to go out and visit a community and a family with this one as well. I really do like that. And then, of course, we do some game driving to go find those elephants and leopards. And a couple of nights glamping in this area as well, for sure. And then we go on, of course, to the Yala National Park. Very, very great. And it has a beautiful train ride here with the 9 arches. If you have any Harry Potter fans, they actually use that train rail. It's got the arches for the movies as well. So, great option. And here's just a couple of snippets of the accommodation for this area as well. And that's pretty much it for me. I just want to say thank you guys for letting me have your ear for a few moments. And if you have any questions, of course, we're over at the back there. You can come and see us for sure.
You will. Awesome. You can give that to Kristen. So amazing. I love the look of, hang on one second while we do a technical fix here. All right. So elephants and leopards in Sri Lanka. I think I'm in. I think I'm hooked. Yeah, we got some who's in for that. Awesome. So thank you very much, Wendy. Really, a really unique set of tours that are available. So now one of my favorites, I got a job to do on this one, so I'm gonna go. But I'll be back. So this is Kristen from Hurtigruten, by the way. You'll introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Francis. Oh, good. On. Yeah. I already failed at the button. So my name is Kristen, and I work for a company whose name probably nobody has ever heard of, nor could you pronounce. And I'll get to that because that's a little part of my shtick that I like to do. But I do work for an expedition company, so we travel on a small adventure-based ship, sort of your, adventure-based camp at sea. And we, in my opinion, go to some of the most incredible, remote, wild places on Earth. So this is me. I am based in the fake Prince Edward. I am in Prince Edward County in Ontario. And I have the privilege of being the sales director in Canada and being partners with Stewart Travel Group. So I'm so thrilled to be with you here this evening. And I have had the opportunity to travel literally pole to pole with the company that I will tell you how to pronounce in a second. And I'm a very proud Antarctic ambassador as well as that, and that is a partnership with the International Association of Antarctic Tour Operators. So even as a Canadian, I absolutely love the ice and the snow. So who the heck are we? Our little introduction. We are the 130-year-old company you have never heard of. We are a Norwegian-based cruise line, and the Norwegians so eloquently pronounce our name, Hurtigruten. The very Canadian in me pronounces it Hurtigruten. And you can see how ashamed they would be if they knew I was hopping all over the country saying it that way. But I don't roll my R's as nicely as they do. So we actually started as a ferry route and a cargo route connecting all of the small Norwegian, or all of the little coastal communities in the country of Norway. And we do it all the way in the south of Bergen, up to Kirkenes in the north. And back in 1893 when we started, we did that route in just 7 days. So the name actually comes from, or it means in Norwegian, Hurtig means fast express, Ruten means route. So we're known as the fast route or express route in English in Norway. And literally just 3 years after we became a company, we founded the concept of expedition cruising. So I'm going to give you a little introduction to what that looks like with us.
We were born in a time of change. The Norwegian explorers were changing our view of the world. In 1896, we set out on our great journey, driven by curiosity to sail in the wake of giants, changing our horizons from Norway to all points of the compass, where polar bears roam, penguins dance, and albatrosses float above archipelagos. We changed course, and we changed courses, We changed coats and boats, changing the ways you can discover and learn, the way you can see, feel, and hear the world around you, changing the lives of those who share our journey, with the help of those who have changed ours. We've taken people further and deeper into a world of wonder. And along the way, we changed the way we sail for everyone. But some things will never change. Powered by our curiosity, always exploring, and forever inspired to protect our home. We do all this for one purpose. To change the way you see the world.
Said, gosh, when I see one of our videos, man, I just want to go back and do one of our trips. So I'm going to go through just a little bit about what expedition cruising actually is. Because have any of you ever tried an expedition before? Okay, you guys don't count. So expedition cruising is that, concept of the small purpose-built ship for the areas that we are sailing in, so that we can go and experience wildlife endemic to very specific regions of the world. And when I say purpose-built ship, when you go to a place like up in the Arctic or down in Antarctica, you do need an ice class ship. You need a ship that can actually tolerate crashing into going through ice. We're not icebreakers. We are in Antarctica in their summer and the Arctic in the summer. But we do still need a certain base and a nice strength and hull to be able to get through ice and snow. And in a place like Galapagos, there are only 69 vessels in Galapagos that are operating today with tourists. And you cannot, just drop your own ship in there and say, I all of a sudden want to start sailing there. We've been sailing in Galapagos since 1967. We are one of the original companies in Galapagos, and you have to be there with a ship that is only up to a certain capacity, and that capacity is 100 passengers. So there's a lot of rules and regulations we follow with where we're traveling, based on capacity, based on style of ship, based on how it's built for the conditions that we are in and experiencing. It is education and science-based over entertainment. So we want our ship to be a nice connection to the destination. The ship is not there to take away from it with, water slides and things like that. We have science center bases and a professional team of expedition lecturers on board to really help you further connect and learn about the destination that you're experiencing. But most importantly with expedition, it's to go into the experience with an open mind and flexibility, because we can come up against Mother Nature every day of our expedition, and we could, the night before have plan A in place. By the time we wake up the next day, it could be plan B, C, D, etc. So you could literally look at our brochure and be like, oh, okay, Antarctica, day 1, Buenos Aires, day 2, board in Ushuaia, day 3, across the Cape Passage, day 5 to 15, Antarctica. And that's what the itinerary will say in a brochure. So you just have to put your faith in us that we know what the hell we're doing down there. And we promise we will deliver, as Travis had said, a life-changing experience for you. Now, for us as a company, sustainability is very much at the heart of who we are, what we value, and we've done a couple really cool things as a company as well. We did create the world's first hybrid electric-powered cruise ships, and those came out in 2019 and 2020, and we are currently working on the world's first emissions-free ship. So that is slated to come out in 2030. We don't have any plastics on board our ships, and we work with a lot of science associations and local communities in the destinations that we visit to help protect the areas that we are visiting and sailing in. So let me give a little intro to our expedition team. These are really, the ones who make it all happen and perform the miracles in destination. They are a global expedition team. We have Canadian ornithologists that work with us. We have marine biologists from Norway. We have a whole host of different science experts on board so that they can bring a different skill set, different knowledge set to our expeditions for our guests to learn about the destination we're visiting. They're your hosts on the ship, in our zodiacs when we're ashore as well, and they're of course very highly trained in polar survival. Now, just to look at our fleet, we have 6 expedition ships, and we literally do sail pole to pole. We're not at 7 continents yet, we're at 5. But one of the most difficult ones to get to is Antarctica, and that's one we do. So these are our 3 largest ships. We can do up to 530 passengers on our 2 twin sisters, the hybrid ships. And then our 3 smallest ships are capped at 250, 180, and 90 guests. And again, they're all built for a very specific destination that we put them in. So life on ship, again, it is that education hub, but it's also your kind of comfortable base camp at sea as well. When you've been out doing a day of adventure, you come back on to very modern Scandinavian, accommodations, lounges. We've got fantastic sort of relaxation spaces and things like that. From a culinary perspective, think nothing is industrially processed. We have fantastic vegan and vegetarian options on board, and everything is locally sourced as much as possible. I mean, when we're down to a place like Antarctica, you can't source anything local. Like, we're not flipping penguin burgers on the back deck. We do source things from Argentina and Chile for our Antarctic expeditions, but you get where I'm going with that. So your meals all come included, beer, wine with lunch and dinner. Always coffee, tea, water, and specialty coffees available throughout the day. No gratuities are expected on our ships. And if you do want to upgrade and do, the all you can drink all day, you can do that as an extra option as well. Just to look at, again, the look and feel of our dining rooms, very casual atmosphere on board. This is literally the kind of thing that we wear throughout the day. It does not get fancier than this on board. And again, you can't be a Norwegian company and not have a sauna on board. So that's, that's the nod to the Norwegian heritage right there. And I'm definitely guilty of a nap or 2 in some of our lounges. But what I love about the design of the ships is just access to windows and views everywhere. Because we still want you, even if you're sitting down at dinner, to have the view of what's happening on the outside. Because you never know what the captain's going to do and come on and say, oh my gosh, there's a whale on the port side. So the major hub, the major learning area on our ships is the science center. We have biological and geological microscopes. We can actually take our zodiacs out as science boats with our scientists, collect water samples, run samples and things like that, blow them up on our screens. And we do actually work with different science programs around the world. And we will oftentimes bring them onto our ships and actually have them, do science with us. So I was in Antarctica in January, and we actually had a couple scientists who were studying whales, and they were tagging whales. So they could actually go out in a zodiac, and they were tagging humpbacks, and we were at the safe distance, away, watching them do this. Then they bring, the information back on board and share with our guests why they tag them, what they're looking for, that type of thing. We do have free Wi-Fi thanks to Starlink now. You can even get Wi-Fi up in the high Arctic. And so that's kind of life off or on ship. So let's go a little bit off the ship as well. And I'd like to introduce you to Francis, who is sporting the exclusive limited edition Helly Hansen Hurtigruten Expedition jacket. And when you enjoy Hurtigruten Expedition in the polar regions, this is the lovely attire that you get. And this is the gear that you want to bring with you. And yes, you do even get the included muck boots for your Arctic or Antarctic adventure. So we at least take care of the jacket and the boots for you. One less thing you need to worry about bringing. And then you just gotta bring the waterproof pants, your toque and your mitts, and you're good to go on an expedition. And girl, you must be roasting. So we also give you use of trekking poles. We give you a reusable water bottle on board because we have no single-use plastics. When we're in our warm weather destination like the Galapagos, you get the wetsuit, you get the snorkel gear, we've got you covered there. If you do want to do any optional activities like kayaking, we take care of the polar dry suit, the fleece onesie for you, everything like that. So you don't need to spend money buying any of this stuff to then, go on an expedition and maybe, although we live in Canada, you'd use it again. So one of the most common things people ask is like, okay, how the heck are you getting from a ship into a Zodiac and vice versa? And the neat thing about the design of the Hurtigruten ships is that the side of the ship actually folds out to be a water level hull, or the side of the hull is a water level platform. And you can see one of our crew members there tethered to the ship, and he's your helping hands to get into the Zodiac. We actually have a little set of stairs that gets you from the waterfront or water level platform down to the Zodiac with the sailor's grip. Kind of related to getting in and out of a bathtub, that kind of thing. So some of the included exploration that we do. So landings, very formal term in the expedition world. We literally use just the natural landscape of the land to disembark our guests to go and explore the land. So that's what a landing is. But sometimes we will run into different types of landings on expedition. So sometimes it is a wet landing where we don't actually have any physical land we could bring our Zodiac up to. Hence the muck boots that Francis showed you. You can see why those would come into play. When you're doing a dry landing, okay, maybe we are in a small community, we do get a little pier that we can pull the Zodiac up to easily and safely disembark our guests. But especially in those regions where there's lots of snow and ice, then we encounter that polar landing. And the photo's a little bit cut off, but there is actually a shovel stuck in the snow there. The expedition team would have gone ahead about an hour before our guests and dug out and used a pickaxe to literally build a set of stairs into the snow and ice so that our guests can easily get on and off of the landing site. And what's interesting is in Antarctica, I've actually seen it where, there's been a penguin colony nearby, and so the Zodiac would, disembark some guests and go off to go and collect some more, and then the penguins start using the stairs to get in and out of the water. I mean, they're curious and they're not scared of us, so they're like, well, heck, why jump? We'll just take the stairs. So we also use our Zodiacs to go out and do some scenic cruising. And of course, when we're in the regions with the ice, it's to see and enjoy the icebergs, always from a safe distance, of course, because they have the tendency to shift, to crack, to roll. We don't want to be caught in any iceberg tidal waves or anything like that. We also, we're not always in the ice, so we still use the Zodiacs to go out and explore and cruise the coastlines as well. And the nice thing with our small ships is that gives us the opportunity to go in certain fjords, certain channels that the larger ships are not able to get into. So that's kind of two of the major aspects of expedition, is getting into a landing situation and doing different scenic cruising opportunities. Then we like to add in some adventure activities as well. So we do things like kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, we go hiking, we do overnight camping in Antarctica. Can I sell anyone on that one? And we do citizen science boat. But one thing I'd love to know from this audience, who would go in and do the polar plunge in Antarctica or the Arctic? You crowd are ready for expedition. Well, a few of you are ready for expedition. And then we do also, when we do have the opportunity to work with local communities and visit places with ports and more infrastructure, we do work with the local communities to offer shore excursions to our guests to further enhance their experience in the destination. So where can you travel with us around the world? So we do visit 5 continents of the 7. And again, the most difficult is Antarctica, so we gotta get some kudos for that one. But you can literally sail pole to pole with us. So of course, yes, you can visit Norway, that's our heritage, that's where we've started from. You can go to the high Arctic of Svalbard. It is an archipelago, separate island of Norway. Basically major area to see the polar bears, although we are lucky to have them here in the Canadian Arctic as well. Svalbard too, you can do the northernmost everything. So if you want the northernmost beer in the northernmost bar, that's the place to go. We do circumnavigations of Iceland, we do northeast Greenland, we do western Greenland, we do Canadian Arctic, which is known as the Northwest Passage. So anybody who loves that exploration history, oh my God, go and do the Northwest Passage. And that will present so many ice challenges, you won't know what hit you when you do that. But we're also one of the few that actually does the full transit of the Northwest Passage. So literally we do 2 different voyages We start in Iceland, go up Western Greenland, go all the way through the Canadian Arctic to Nome, or we do the reverse that starts in Nome, goes all the way through the Canadian Arctic, down the west coast of Greenland, and finishes in Halifax. So 2 amazing voyages to consider if you want to explore some of our own backyard. We do Alaska, and I implore you, if you've ever done Big Ship Alaska, come back and do Expedition Alaska. It will introduce you to a whole different side of this amazing destination. And of course, we do sort of repositioning cruises in North, Central, and South America to then finish off getting us down to. I'm just going to share a couple little videos with you on our, I think, 2 of my favorite destinations, because one's kind of the colder version of the warmer, and vice versa. So Antarctica is a place, you know, people always wonder, well, how the heck do you get down there? And we have ships that are based either in Punta Arenas in Chile or in Ushuaia in Argentina. It's a couple-day crossing across the Drake Passage. And we have 2 different types of conditions along the Drake Passage. It is either Drake Shake or Drake Lake. And oh boy, the Drake will shake if she wants to. I think I was flatlined for a full 24 hours when I did it in January. But I have also seen it calm as anything and beautiful and peaceful. And you'll never know what coin you're gonna get when you toss it. So, I mean, that's how you gotta get down to Antarctica. But the beauty, once you get down there, the just peace and quiet and the wildlife experiences that you have is really what makes this trip a once-in-a-lifetime, even though I've been there 3 times, and I hope to go back again. But I just want to introduce you to a few of the unique characters that you could meet down in Antarctica with us.
Well, we have all your classic motives, mountains, whales, sunsets, but we also have a lot of interesting characters.
Ah, this is my good side. Can you see it? You got a 6-pack as well.
Look at the size of that lens. That must be the longest lens I have ever seen in my life.
Do you think you might compensate for something?
Professionally, no.
Well, this right here is my lazy sexy pose. That's actually a thing over here.
Look at me, look at me. I'm Leo. I'm Leo on the Titanic. Look at me. Hang on. Iceberg, Titanic. You know what? This is all wrong. I don't want my picture taken. Go away, please. Thank you. Bye.
Not ready. Need to freshen up. Wait. Not ready. Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Are you using bushy brows? No.
Look, will you just take the picture? I've got things to do. Just click the thing on your click it. All right. Is this a better spot? I tell you what. Too late. Missed opportunity.
Not ready. Okay, ready. Not ready.
Oh, hold on. You do experience them that close. Wait. There we go. And the funny thing with Antarctica, I've had a number of different penguin experiences, and there is rules that we follow down in Antarctica. You have to stay 5 meters or 15 feet away from the penguins. But the problem is the penguins don't know the rules. So you can just be standing there, and then, you know, this little penguin will kind of come up to you. So my colleague, I was down there with him, and he had a life jacket strap blowing in the wind. And this gentle penguin was like, I'm gonna make it my mission to get that life jacket strap. So he comes right up to him, and you just see his head and his beak just trying to align his beak to capture the life jacket strap. He probably tried 5 or 6 times. Finally got it, and then it was like this light in his head, like, well, that was dumb. And then he just let go of it and waddled off. And that's kind of the thing, you know, nature's in control down there. We maintain the distance. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but you just sort of let the situation happen, and away you go. And the same thing happens when you're in the Galapagos. There is so much wildlife endemic to that region. And this, you know, it's not fake. This is the type of, you know, marine iguanas, land iguanas that you can see when you're down in down in Galapagos. You can get your blue-footed boobies, your red-footed boobies. It's just an amazing destination. So if you have that need or desire to really want to connect with wildlife, again, always from that safe distance, so we're not disturbing their habitat, You will get the cold weather version of that in Antarctica or the warm weather version of that in Galapagos. And they're such a nice complement to each other. And final video, and I swear to God I'll be done with you, but I hope, it's giving you a little bit of inspiration to maybe step outside of your comfort zone a bit and try something new in the world.
We spend our lives searching for meaning and adventure. So, in our imaginations, we create a world of infinite possibilities, fueled by our curiosity and our desire for wonder. Yet the more we dream of this magical realm, the more elusive it becomes. But what if you could escape from your endless searching for this perfect world? You discover that you've been looking in the wrong place all along. This world of your dreams is right in front of you. You just need to open your eyes to see that you're already here.
And I think that just has such a fantastic message, and why Stewart Travel Group has put together the Curated Collection is we have such an amazing world out there. Just open your eyes, it's there, and Stewart Travel Group can help you get there. Thank you very much.
All right, so I have a small problem, is that I can't decide if we should go to Antarctica or if we should go to Galapagos. So I need your help. We're gonna take a quick break, like 7 minutes, let's say. And if you go over to that board right there, you'll see a picture of a penguin and a picture of a Galapagos blue-footed booby. So what you need to do is there's some stickers that Kristen has, and you need to help me pick. Because we're gonna do probably both of these destinations, but I need to know which one's first. So if you wanna grab a drink, go do your sticker, go to the bathroom, and we have door prizes that we will do at the end. And so we've got 2 more presentations, 15 minutes, and then we're done. Okay? And sorry, just while you're moving around, the 2 presentations we have next, one is on the Mekong, which we already have in place for 2024. And the other one is for our Sensational South Africa program, which is happening in 2024 as well. So we're looking forward to telling you all about those.
Hey, so we're tonight. What song? What song would I play? What have to do with the videos? Just click that button and I'll do stuff over here. Continue. So the video. Yeah, so I have to mute this phone, otherwise you can't get that. Because it's going through there. Just look at me. Yeah, okay. I guess we're going to Galapagos.
All right, we're going to get started in just 2 minutes. Grab your beverage, make sure you get your sticker on, and we will get started. Where are you going to stand? This way? Yeah, I think, yeah, kind of close to where you came in, I think. No, you're good. I've got like the edge of the plant. I've got like the edge of the plant to like the bar. Yeah.
Ready?
So I'm going to get you. All right, we are going to get everyone to find their seats. Find your seat again. I know this is exciting. Looks like we're going to the Galapagos. Oh, amazing. Amazing. I know, Antarctica was trailing. All right, everyone find your seat, please. We're going to get started again. All right, so I am really, really excited because in just, let's see, 21st, 18, I can't see back, 27 days, Kelvin and I are taking your group on AmaWaterways, and we are going to do the Danube from Budapest to Tourcan. And nobody online can hear me, so they don't know where I'm going, so nobody can break into my house, so that's good. No, we're going from Budapest to Tourcan with AmaWaterways, and I'm really excited because Ama has an incredible collection, and I told Neil that he wasn't allowed to talk about the continent of Europe tonight. So let's see what's going to happen.
All right. All right, so let's start talking about Europe. Obviously, what I love about tonight is obviously you've got a presentation on all sorts of incredible exotic destinations, and all of the suppliers here are presenting you with different ways of seeing these destinations. So of course, my focus is to bring you the luxury river cruise experience for all of these lovely areas. Now, yes, obviously, our main area that we started in was Europe, but we branched out to some beautiful exotic destinations which have some stunning rivers, which we focus incredible journeys around, and that is what I'm going to tell you about tonight. But just a little introduction to AmaWaterways, of course. Now, how many of you in the room have been on a river cruise before? Show of hands. How many with AmaWaterways? So you're my favorites. Okay, I'll make the rest of my favorites very soon. So, a little bit about our company for the rest of you who do not know. We are a family-owned and operated company. Two main families since our inception 21 years ago, and our Canadian connection is that our birthday happens to be on Canada Day. So you've got Rudy and Christine there, husband and wife team from Germany and Austria, combined with the Murphy family from the US and Ireland. So internationally owned and operated company. Now, when they actually started the company, of course, the focus was river cruising. Now, how many of you in the room have been on an ocean cruise before and maybe not a river cruise? That's usually what we find. I'd love to show this slide because yes, we are a cruising experience, but we are very different to our ocean cruising cousins. On a river cruise, you are always within sight of land. Different port of call each and every day, generally arriving around breakfast, staying right through till dinner, late nights and overnights in a number of ports of call as well. Now, in AmaWaterways, we are leaders in the river cruise field, and the reason we are is because Rudy down there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen is not just one of our owners, but he's actually the architect and designer of every single one of our ships. We are focused on river cruising. We do not have an ocean cruising division. We let the experts take care of that. We do not have a land division. We let the others in the room take care of that. Our sole focus is to bring you the best luxury river cruise experience out there. And I just want to show you a little video. Yes, this is based on Europe, but it's really to show that all of our ships, no matter where they are in the world, have that same core experience. So here is a little clip of our product itself. So that, folks, is just a little glimpse into the AmaWaterways experience. And the reason I want to show that video is because when we decided to branch off into our beautiful exotic destinations, we really want to make sure that that same core experience exists on each and every one of our ships, no matter where we are in the world. So that truly is the AmaWaterways difference. We do have 25 ships sailing in and around the world, including our beautiful exotic destinations. So that's just a map of everywhere that we go. And like I said, we're always focused on bringing a great luxury river cruise experience. So in the bags, of course, you've got copies of both of our brochures. I think we snuck the Europe ones in there anyway, so if you're interested in Europe, it's in there. But we are focused on the exotics, and that is the other brochure that you're going to find. So we have 4 exotic destinations, and our newest one will debut next year. And I'm going to talk about all of these 4 exotic destinations that you're going to find in the brochure. I'm going to start with a beautiful African experience. And this is very unique because we are the only European river cruise line who has a wildlife river cruise experience. Now, you've obviously heard others talk about Africa and such, and we actually do a beautiful Chobe river cruise on the Zambezi Queen. Now, what I absolutely love about this experience is because you might take a land safari and be chasing around those animals and such, but folks, if you take a wildlife river cruise experience, we can actually make the guarantee that you will see all the wildlife in the area, because the Chobe River is the only watering hole between Namibia and Botswana, meaning all of those animals have to come to this river every single day to bathe and feed, and that's where you'll be cruising on the beautiful Zambezi Queen. And there's a selection of different itineraries, all based around that core experience, whether you want to go to South Africa, whether you want to go to East Africa, all sorts of extra things, including the Rwanda Gorillas package. So you can add all of these things on, 10 days up to 21 days. But this is the actual experience right here. This is the Zambezi Queen, and there's only 28 guests on board. It is also the only river cruise we have that doesn't have a set itinerary. The captain's sole responsibility is to follow the wildlife along the river. So folks, every single morning when you are waking up in one of your beautiful balcony suites, whether this is the lead-ins or the wraparound master square feeds, and whether you're having your meals, you are always watching the animals, because folks, I can guarantee you almost every single morning, the captain has figured out where the elephants are actually having their morning bathe, and that's where you're going to be having your breakfast. Sitting there, enjoying them. You're going to see the dining rooms are not your traditional dining room. They are all window-facing seats, because we want you to basically be able to dine with wildlife, whether that's in the restaurant or whether that's up on the top deck, even relaxing in a little plunge pool experience. So really, really incredible experience. Of course, with only 28 guests on board, as you can imagine, it books up a lot earlier than a river cruise experience, which I know the Stewart Travel Group is familiar with, but let me show you the beautiful smiling faces of the crew on the Zambezi Queen. windows into the Zambezi Queen experience. And all my colleagues have said it, these truly are once-in-a-lifetime bucket list experiences. Obviously a perfect fit with the curated collection that Stewart Travel Group is bringing you. So these are all little shots, of course, that you see from the beautiful Zambezi Queen, water-based safaris, land safaris, and we always incorporate local experiences into all of our programs. The Roll on the Grill package is something we did add just a couple of years ago, so if you want to obviously extend, do that beautiful package, you can also do that on top of the Chobe River Cruise experience as well. So folks, the story continues in our exotics collection, and our newest exotic destination was to go onto the Nile River with our own ship. Now, this is a beautiful experience. It's a 7-night river cruise, round trip from Luxor, 3 nights in Cairo beforehand, and night in Cairo at the end. And of course, pre and post packages are available in Jordan, Dubai, and Israel. But this program is actually going to take you into that stunning city of Cairo. And you can see with Cairo, it is a city that's been built around the old city. It's a huge, thriving city, so it's really neat to see the mixture of cultures. We want to make sure you're having that 5-star experience, and this is why the Nile has become extremely popular for us, because people are wanting to explore this region, but they really want to do it with 5-star safety, security, and comfort. So why not be comfortable in the 5-star St. Regis Hotel on the Nile River, folks? It is very, very decadent, of course. We're going to take you to see all of the main highlights, of course. Yes, you've got the pyramids, you've got all the sphinxes and such like that. You have lunch at the Mena House, all the great experiences, but we've always incorporated stops into the local markets, get a chance to meet the locals and such into the area. Now, when you're actually on the cruise itself, it takes place on the AmaWaterways, and it is a boutique ship. In fact, all of our exotic fleets are more of a boutique style, smaller than our fleet over in Europe. You have 72 guests on board, but again, all the same core features that our main ships have in Europe. So of course, you've got that beautiful rooftop pool to relax. You've got stunning accommodations on board, and in fact, all of them, picture windows right up to the French balconies and to the twin balcony suites. You always want to make sure you're getting that full cultural experience when it comes to the food, the sights, everything else like that. So of course, you've got all sorts of great local cuisine. It is mixed with international fare, so that something doesn't appeal to you, not a problem. You've got the selection of regular foods on board as well, and beautifully appointed staterooms, 370 up to 522 square feet. So you're very, very comfortable in our suites. And this, folks, is just a little glimpse into the African experience over on the Nile. Just Francis on her toes. So these are some of the great sites, like I said, that you get to see. Every single day is a new experience. We have an Egyptologist on our ships, along with the local tour guide. So you're really getting that full educational experience for all the different areas that we actually have on the cruise itself. And Abu Simbel, folks, is the only optional tour, because everything for AmaWaterways is a very inclusive style experience. Abu Simbel is an optional tour only because there's limited numbers that we can get on the plane to take you up to Abu Simbel. But I always say, please book that. Again, always incorporating all the local things. Felucca rides, visits off to the Nubian village and such like that, and to the spice market, to the local food areas. So again, truly immersive experience when you're actually over on to the Nile in Egypt. And it's become so popular because it is actually sold out for the next 8 months, that we're actually adding a second ship to join us next spring as well. But folks, the story does continue, and we are ecstatic to be the very first winter cruise line to ever have our own product debuting next year on the Magdalena River in Colombia. This is an incredible region, a great mix of wildlife and cultural experiences. 7-night cruises between Barranquilla and Cartagena, with pre and post packages in Medellin, Panama, for you to enjoy as well. One thing we did learn, though, folks, about our beautiful experience in the Nile is that these new exotic destinations are very popular. So we're actually bringing out 2 ships next year instead of 1, just to really handle the demand and capacity. Now, again, this is going to be a great mix of cultural experiences, unique and exclusive to our folks when they're going on the ships. For instance, in, sorry, it's a little bit of Colombia. Sorry, let me introduce you to Colombia first, and then I'll tell you about some exclusive experiences. So a lot of times people aren't familiar with Colombia, what it's all about. It really is a great mix of food, wildlife, and incredible cultural experiences. We want to incorporate this into our program. So the ships that are coming out next year are going to be the Alma Magdalena and the Alma Melodia. They're only going to have 60 passengers each, but all of them are going to have the same core features that our ships do in Europe. So the twin balcony suites, the multiple dining venues. But some of the exclusive experiences. When we are in Barranquilla, Colombia is very famous for the Carnival experiences. So every time one of our ships is in Barranquilla, there's an exclusive Carnival performance with all the costumes, all the music, just for our AmaWaterways guests. When we are over in Mompox, they are known for their music, folks, and down here, we're actually going to have an exclusive street jazz performance, again, just for our AmaWaterways passengers. And another one is in El Banco, where cumbia is a very famous form of Colombian music, and we're taking all of our guests off the ship to a local restaurant, and you're getting an exclusive Colombian performance. So again, really, really excited about bringing this product. The Colombian government is ecstatic, and folks, the people of Colombia are very friendly and very waiting for you as well. Is the magic of Colombia. We're very excited about that and enjoying it. But I'm going to finish off with actually the exotic destination that we started with first, when we actually branched outside of Europe. And of course, that's because Stewart Travel Group has a great departure as part of their Curated Collection happening next year. So the Mekong River, folks, incredible way to see the region of Southeast Asia. It's a 7-night river cruise experience taking between southern Vietnam and Cambodia, with pre and post packages in northern Vietnam, and of course in the capital of Ho Chi Minh City as well. And folks, when I say it all is about life on the Mekong, there's things that you can only see on the Mekong. Floating villages, floating markets, floating schools, and all of that you will get to experience. It's all about seeing the different religions, cultures, foods, all of those great experiences on board the beautiful Amadara. So like I said, we are going to be on this beautiful ship, 120 passengers. Again, has all the same core features that our regular European ships do. It's got the multiple restaurants. All of the accommodation are actually our signature twin balcony suites. So again, great relaxing and comfort on board. These are the leading ones at 251 square feet, go up to 366 square feet, up to our grand suites, which are 502 square feet. Now, the style down here into this region is colonial, so that is reflected in our restaurants and in our lounges as well. And again, on here, pretty much everything is included for you to enjoy on this beautiful experience, including drinks all day long. So if you cruise with us in Europe, that's a little bit different. The one thing that's different is we only serve wine at dinner. Now, there's a reason for that, folks, because local Vietnamese wines, you probably never heard of those before. Yeah, that's because you really don't want to drink those. They tend to do snake wine, folks, and I don't think really anybody wants to do that. So wine is only for dinner, but don't worry, you're going to get supplemented everywhere else. So there's the rooftop heated pool, of course, the beautiful entertainment on board each and every evening when we are cruising. That also happens, of course, on our land components as well. So, but there's some of the wine. If you would like the local wines, feel free to try it. And what I've discovered, when we take you off to one of the local areas and such, you are going to be able to purchase this. I was shocked. We can bring it into Canada, folks. It is actually illegal. I did not know. So I have a bottle to scare people off when I don't want them to stay very long. These are the little markets, of course, that you're going to get the chance to visit and such. the local forms of transportation, yes, we take you on these. This is actually one of our owners taking the tri-shell ride over into the area and always incorporating village visits, off to local schools, all sorts of things. We're always giving back. In fact, we were the very first North American river cruise line to have our own product over in the Mekong. And one of our very first things was we put part of the proceeds of what you are paying towards a locally funded school. We built this school, we funded the school. It's a great experience. So you get a chance to go to Cambodia. Great experience in Cambodia, of course, all the different markets, great areas to shop. And trust me, you can come off if you're going in April on the Stewart Travel Group, and I think there's 2 cabins left. So snap up the last 2. But folks, I insist, do your Christmas shopping here because you are going to come off looking like Santa Claus himself. Because you can go to these lovely markets. I went, have all sorts of nieces and nephews. I went and bought those beautiful iPod headphones. Oh. Yeah, they're very expensive. Not when I got 10 sets for about, 200 Canadian dollars. And they're usually about $200 a set. So, yeah, they might be fake, but they're in great packaging. My nieces and nephews don't need to know the difference anyway. So, like I said, it's all about life on the Mekong, folks. I want to leave you with a beautiful view on the AmaWaterways, which you'll all be able to sail on with this group. Is the experience on board the AmaWaterways. If you're interested in going with the Stewart Travel Group next April, this is the lovely flyer. And of course, I'm happy to talk about any of other experiences with you as well. So, it gives me a great pleasure to bring up my lovely colleague, Philip Solomon from Tourcan Vacations.
So we're really excited. So Paul and I are hosting the Mekong cruise for next year, and it's something, honestly, I've been in this business 30 years. I can't believe it. I still have hair, but we're really excited. It's something, like I said, we've been trying to do for many, many years, and we got some amazing program with AmaWaterways. And you can see the pricing, literally, it's at, actually it's starting at $39.95.
They're just sold out.
They're just, oh, those rooms are sold out, but maybe we get some others. What you're getting is a 7-night river cruise, 3 nights in Saint-Marie property, staying at Sofitel property, so back to the 5-star again, and then 2 nights in Ho Chi Minh City. Can you imagine for $4,000-ish going on a trip of a lifetime, which we've been able to do. So we have 2 staterooms left. We have folks here that are coming with us next year. And yay! The back of the room, cheap seats. So yeah, exactly. Can't afford the seats now that they paid anyway. So if you're interested, come talk to any of us for sure. AmaWaterways, just like all these partners, is a big partner of ours. Maybe you don't know, but we have actually 4 charters. What that means, 4 full ship charters. My goodness.
Say that 3
I
times.
can't say that. I'm thinking, why did we do that? But we have, starting this year in November, we have actually Blue Rodeo, the whole Blue Rodeo band on the Christmas markets, from Amsterdam to Basel, Switzerland, with some folks that are here that are on it. And we also just announced for next summer, and for those of you that know 80s music, Richard Marx is going to be performing on board on the Danube next August. That was crazy to get. And then more Canadian, back to Canadian, we've got Colin James, who is an amazing performer, a Canadian 7 Juno Award winner. He's performing here at the Convention Center, I think the first week of October, 3rd, 4th, something like that. The 3rd, is it? So that one, and then Jim Cuddy from Blue Rodeo, his 2 sons that are performing in Atlantic Canada right now, with the fiddle player, and Lizzie and Rose Cousins, who's originally from PEI now, she's living in Halifax, so the shore. So great programs, and a wonderful partner, we're pretty excited. On the River is great. So, moving on, Philip Solomon, I'm sorry. Now we're going to go to Africa. I'm sorry. So don't go anywhere after Philip's done, okay, please, because we're going to give some wonderful prizes away with these wonderful suppliers. So stick around, this is a great program, and Philip Solomon, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to go? Well, thank you for that introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be here, and thank you for incorporating Tourcan Vacations in your curated edition. We're proud to be part of it. So, my name is Philip Solomon. I'm the General Manager of Tourcan Vacations, and I've been with the company for a long time. And I'm absolutely delighted to be working with you all. We do a lot of work with the Stewart Travel Group. So, tell me a little bit about Tourcan Vacations. You probably think to yourself, Tourcan Vacations, I haven't quite heard about that, and that's absolutely fine, because you don't need to hear about us, because we are a tour operator. We work in the background. We make sure that everything that happens on the ground is supposed to happen the way it should. We provide the services, and we work very closely with the Stewart Travel Group in implementing tours for individuals and also for groups. We've been around for about 35 years. Our head office is in Toronto, and all the staff that work there are what we call destination specialists. So they've either been to, traveled to, or worked in the destinations that they sell. We work very closely with Stewart Travel Group in customizing tours. So we don't do set departures. Everything is tailor-made and customized to suit the needs of the traveler, and we do it luxury and semi-luxury, really meaning that all our products are 4-star and beyond, 4 and 5-star. So you can actually see here about 51% of the people who use the product of Tourcan Vacations are 5-star and beyond. So what do we do as a tour operator? As a tour operator, we do a couple of things. We do tours, we do safaris, we do anything before and after a cruise, because we don't know how to sell cruises. So anything before and after, leave that to them. So we go into the wonderful world of exotic destinations. Africa, interestingly enough, is our top producing region. Now you can tell by my accent that I'm not originally from these parts. You see it nodding my head. You can tell that I was born and raised in Texas. It's a very heavy accent. So I originally come from South Africa, and it's interesting that the African product, I had nothing to do with it, actually became our top producing region. So if you look at the right-hand side of your screen, it will give you an indication of what is very popular right now in terms of our product and what we are selling. So Africa, really, we cover about 14 different countries there. Asia, North, South, East, and West. We cover the whole gamut. Bali, Thailand, and Japan, extremely popular at the moment. South and Central America, we sell everything south of Mexico. So we don't do Mexico, Canada, the US, the Caribbean, that's not our area of specialty, but we do go into these regions with Costa Rica and Galapagos currently being some of our top sellers. We also go into the Middle East. We do Israel, Jordan, Oman, and the UAE. Not much has changed there. Israel, Jordan combinations, Jordan, Egypt combinations in Africa and the UAE as well. And then we end up when we go down into the South Pacific, New Zealand, Australia, and all the islands of the South Pacific. And just once again, we do customize all our tours into those regions. But I was told very clearly, tonight I have to talk about a specific tour that is operating in September next year. Sensational, South Africa, and the Victoria Falls. Now, I know that some of it has already been sold, so you need to make sure that if you want to get onto this trip, you contact my colleagues here at Stewart Travel and get your name and deposit onto the list. So my presentation tonight, and isn't it wonderful to be the last presenter? I can just talk, is going to be specifically about this journey of South Africa. But in the end, we want to give you a taste of what you're going to experience, and if you haven't signed up, I certainly hope you will do so at the end. So, South Africa, right down at the southern tip of the African continent, as you can see over there. And that is going to be my presentation. So just a couple of interesting facts. What do you need to get to South Africa? No visa required, very easy. But if you go to Victoria Falls, $75 to enter Victoria Falls. Make sure that you have the right amount, because if you give $100, they won't have change. Okay, so bear that in mind. You need a passport, 2 blank pages side by side. That's because you enter multiple times. And really, it's a simple process. No visa required to get into South Africa. People often ask, what are the health requirements to get into the country? We're not doctors and we're not permitted to tell you, but I am. So, you need to check with your doctor or health clinic 6 to 8 weeks prior to travel if any inoculations are required. What you will need is anti-malaria protection. So this is really precautionary, ladies and gentlemen. It's not an epidemic. People aren't collapsing and falling down in the streets. That's not happening. But you need it just for protection. And you are traveling September going into October, which is coming to the end of the dry season. So there hasn't been much rain up in the northern parts where you're going to go on safari. So very few mosquitoes in that area then. So what's the weather going to be like September going into October? Here's just a summary for you of the key cities. Remember, these are average temperatures, starting as low as 18 degrees, going up to 29 as you get further north into the country, into safari territory. Your minimums are still a bit low at night time, so you're going to need a wrap jacket to take along with you, but very, very comfortable traveling conditions for South Africa and Zimbabwe in September. So just remember, the climate there, it's the opposite, so they're going into their spring months in September. So, what are you going to experience when you go on this journey? We're going to start off in the city of Cape Town. Spending 4 nights there. So please, you included 4 nights, because very often tours go, they spend 2 and 3 nights and you miss out on a lot. So accommodations are going to be in a lovely, beautiful 4-star property, just as a matter of interest, that's Cape Town, right down at the bottom part of the map. At the beautiful Portswood Hotel. This hotel is actually located in the Victoria and Alfred waterfront, which abounds with restaurants and entertainment, a great spot. This is just to give you an idea. There's a very naval theme about it. Beautiful, luxury, 4-star accommodation. So what are we going to do in Cape Town? A couple of things. We're going to take you up to the top of Table Mountain. It's a very nice long walk to get to the top, so you'll enjoy it. There's a beautiful cable car that's going to take you up to the top of Table Mountain. The interesting thing about this cable car, it actually revolves. So it moves around so you get a 360-degree view. And it's beautiful, but it's the floor that turns, so you don't have to worry about the cable car. Beautiful, sensational views from the top of Table Mountain. If you look in the distance there, you can see Robben Island, which you'll also be getting to visit. We take you on a tour of the city, because really Cape Town is going to introduce you to the history and the culture of South Africa. So you're going to learn a little bit about the colonization that happened. Lots of Dutch influence. You can see that in the Cape Dutch style architecture. You're going to see the influence of the British in the Edwardian and Victorian style architecture, and then also the Malays who came to South Africa in the 1800s as slaves, and they established themselves just above the core of the city, where they had this beautiful area that they these beautiful, colourful homes that still exist today, and where they still live. We're also going to visit Robben Island. So Robben Island is very significant, historically speaking, because many of you may know that this is where Nelson Mandela was incarcerated for about 19 of his 27 years. So it was a political prison on the island itself. It's a ferry ride across, and here you're going to learn not only the history of the island, but also all the flora and fauna that actually happens on the island itself. You will get to visit the prison cell where he was incarcerated for that period of time. Up until very recently, many of the tours here were actually led by ex-political prisoners, but they're now getting to an age, unfortunately, where they're not able to do that. So, historically important to visit Robben Island. Then we're going to take you down on another tour of the Cape Peninsula. So Cape Town is up here, we're going to take you all the way around, and it's a beautiful scenic journey all along the Atlantic seaboard, taking you down to Cape Point. Cape Point is, by tradition they say, where the Indian and the Atlantic Oceans meet. It's a fact. There's even a white line there to show you the difference. But it is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. The interesting thing about this, if you jump into the ocean on the Atlantic side, it's freezing cold. If you jump into the Indian side, it's very pleasant to go swimming. It is not the most southern point in Africa. It is the most southwestern point of the African continent. The most southern point is further to the east and not as pretty as this area. So part of this journey, when we go around the peninsula, we're going to take you to a penguin colony. So this goes back a number of years where these African penguins arrived on this beach that was occupied by humans. We used to go and chill out there. And the local government said, humans, you need to leave. We are going to create a safe haven for the penguins. This is where they have established themselves. They're beautiful walkways. You can actually move about and get to see and admire these incredible little animals. We end this tour with a visit to the Botanical Gardens. It's a beautiful way to end a full-day tour, a lovely walk through the gardens, learn a little bit about the flora that's endemic to South Africa. Well, you can't go to South Africa and not visit a wine estate. Many of you may be familiar with the wonderful wines that are produced in South Africa. Now, the Cape winelands are situated only 1 hour's drive out of Cape Town, so we're going to do a day trip out there. And really what we're going to introduce you to are a couple of wine estates, a couple of wine tastings, but also introduce you to some history and some culture in that specific area. We will visit the monument to the French Huguenots, because they came to Africa, South Africa in the 1700s and brought their knowledge of winemaking with them, and that's a monument dedicated to them. You're going to see the incredible Cape Dutch style architecture, architecture, which you will see in the towns of Stellenbosch and Franschhoek, where we will be spending some time. And of course, we'll end the day with another wine tasting. So that gives you your 4 nights in Cape Town. From Cape Town, we're going to head up north. Quick flight, 2.5 hours, and you will be up in the area of the safari, which is located right there. You may have heard about the Kruger National Park. And on the border of the Kruger National Park are all these beautiful private game lodges. So it's only 2.5 hours to get up there. You're going to spend 3 nights on safari staying at Kapama River Lodge. Great, that is 3 nights. Most itineraries that we see out there really only give you 2 nights. So Kapama River Lodge, by the way, has been completely refurbished in the last couple of 2 years. And it is going to give you a very typical African experience. You're going to enjoy some of your meals outdoors. There's a dry riverbed just outside the main part of the lodge itself. Weather dependent, of course, you may be eating inside, outside, semi-inside, but look at the accommodations. You're talking about luxury accommodations in the bush, beautiful property, and of course, it's all about the safari. So don't go on safari and think you're going to be able to lie until 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be waking you up at 5 or 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m. in the morning, because that's when it all starts. Have some coffee, get onto the vehicle, go out, go on your safari, come back, have breakfast, you can chill out, lie at the pool, maybe go on a walk with your game ranger, have lunch, and then we do high tea. After tea, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we go out again on safari for a couple of hours, but here's the kicker, it continues into the night, when game viewing is done by spotlight to be able to see the nocturnal animals. So this is very different to going to a national park, because in a national park you cannot do night game viewing. So this is a particularly unique experience. So when you do a safari at a place like this, you get a game ranger and you get your tracker. This gentleman in the front, and note it's an open vehicle. If you're in a national park, it's a closed vehicle. So he's the tracker. He looks for the spoors of the animals, the tracks of the animals, and the game ranger will then talk to you about it. They know about all the flora, the fauna, the animals, the insects. They will tell you all about that, and off you go because it's private land. You can traverse the land and follow and track the animals. So this is the kind of experience that you're going to get. Yes, that's not Photoshop. You do get up close and comfortable to the animals. People often look at them and say, oh, you know, isn't that a bit close? The interesting thing is that animals are used to the sound of a vehicle. They're also used to the shape of a vehicle. So we don't make a noise, and you certainly don't go, wow, there's an elephant. You don't want the shape to change. So here are a couple of the animals that you may get to see. Buffalo, rhino, elephant, lion, and leopard. Giraffe. And we go out in the mornings, we go out in the afternoons. Buffalo, and of course, the dung beetle, and then your night safari. So check it out. This is how you would do it at night, by spotlight, and that gives you your 3 nights on safari. We conclude our journey to South Africa, or Southern Africa, with 2 nights in Johannesburg and then 2 nights up at Victoria Falls. We'll fly down to the city of Johannesburg. Again, 2 nights, we're going to do some sightseeing there after staying at the beautiful Balalaika Protea Hotel. Also, just being refurbished, beautiful property, and some sightseeing. We're going to go down to Soweto. Soweto is a township that was created during the apartheid years, and we know that the people of Soweto played a critical role in the changes that happened to bring about the democracy in South Africa. 2 of the key players, Nelson Mandela and Bishop Tutu, lived within a couple of blocks of each other in Soweto, and they are both Nobel Peace Prize winners. And we'll visit a couple of memorials dedicated to people who participated in the uprisings. And of course, the Apartheid Museum, which really depicts the rise of apartheid in 1948 to its downfall through a series of photos, films, and various artifacts. And then it's a quick hop. 2 hours and you will be up at Victoria Falls. Remember your $75 US, and you're going to spend 2 nights at Ilala Lodge. Interestingly enough, this property has also been totally refurbished. A beautiful property, very close to the Victoria Falls. And what are we going to do at Victoria Falls? A couple of outings. One, we're going to do a tour of the Victoria Falls, also known as the Smoke That Thunders. We're going to take you out on a boat ride. It will be in the evening again with some canapes to go and check out the hippos. And we will conclude our visit to Southern Africa with a fabulous outing at a Boma to eat a variety of African foods, wonderful entertainment, drumming, singing, dancing. You will then head back, probably to Johannesburg, board your plane, and come all the way back to Canada. I hope that many of you will sign up and join this incredible journey that they have all put together, the Stewart Travel Group, you, Francis, and thank you for initiating this, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this information with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. All right, so, oops, put the wrong one down. All right, So this tour that Philip just described beautifully is September 25th to October 6th next year. It's 11 nights, 12 days, almost everything is included. It is 9,899 double occupancy, plus the flights to get you up to the safari, down to Johannesburg and so on. And we expect those to be around $1,680. There's a single supplement, and then your airfare and that infamous $75 US visa are additional to that. So, and it's gonna be a small group, maximum 20, minimum 10, so we're already getting close to that, so really excited about this tour. It's been a place that I've wanted to go forever, and that photo is an elephant having a drink at the safari lodge that we'll be visiting. All right, so we are just gonna do some door prizes. I'm gonna turn it over to Travis and Cheryl to do that.
Oh, it's funny. Thanks so much. So first of all, before we do these, I want to really thank our suppliers for coming in. Some flew in from Hurtigruten, some flew in from Toronto. And thank you very much for coming. Thank you for being wonderful partners of this trip. I have to laugh that Philip was talking about that $75 with Victoria Falls, and they don't give any change back. We've been doing that practice for years. Okay, so we're going to give surprises. So once again, thank you so much for coming. Hopefully, you'll keep an eye out on these programs that we're going to continue to change them up and continue to do really life-changing experiences. If these don't fit, we also have, of course, our Stewart Travel other programs, which are awesome. And how many are there we can talk about? We've got lots to talk about that are all hosted by Stewart Travel Group. We've got Ireland, we've got Christmas markets river cruise, we've got looking at Portugal, we're looking at ports of the Colin James, the Jim Cuddies, the British Markets. We're continuing to put more and more on, and we're super excited and we're grateful that folks come with us. And one of the most important things they come with us is they have a great time and lots of laughs, because that's really important in our lives. So thank you to all of you that have come with us, and hopefully those that haven't will come and give us an opportunity to have some fun. So here we go. We're gonna do some tickets, surprises. All right. So
What's this, sorry?
bunch of National Geographic stuff. All right. So you got your tickets, right? You got your tickets? No, I know.
We have a method.
All right. We are doing number 15.
15, Steve Banks.
Love it. Number 8.
Janice.
Janice?
Janice Perot.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right. Are these really $500 vouchers? What?
There's 2 of them.
2?
For Exodus.
Exodus, awesome.
Exodus, perfect. We're at the bar upstairs. All right, number 3 for the first one.
3, Sandy Bernard.
Sandy Bernard.
Sandy,
Right
woo,
up
yay.
there. And the next one. Number 6.
6, okay, you got it.
I know, they're low numbers.
Look it up, 6. 6 is Cindy. Cindy Bro?
Cindy? All
Cindy
right.
Bro.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Number 17.
17, Dario.
Right here. Let's start for you. That looks beautiful on you. Number 10.
Number 10, Lori Pollard. Oh, yeah.
Lori right here. You'll get a matching one in November, by the way. One for here, yep. Number 16.
That is Gary O'Sullivan. Look at you, Gary.
Gary. 63.
63, that is Richard Cuddle.
Right there, Richard. All right. Last but not least, it is from Debbie Salter. So, thank you very much, everyone. If you'd like to stick around, apologize, it's been slightly longer than we anticipated, but thank you again, and hope you'll join us on Stewart Travel Group.
Yep, that's it.
Sure. All right. Thank you.